Now, just a sort of this and that video, I've got a few little bits to show you. I've been putting off and one or two things to tell you, which may or may not happen, who knows, at this minute. We seem to be in a, I don't know, just like the year, you know, you can't go to the shop and buy something, and normally when you want something, you ain't got the money for it, or you've got to save up for it. Well, I've got the money for it and I can't go to the shop and buy it. Oh, never mind. Anyway, first thing is, I broke my fruit machine. So, it doesn't do a lot now. I'll show you what I've done, or what it does and what it doesn't do, and what I found out. Right, I'll show you what I found out so far, and it appears to be the problem, but it's an insurmountable problem. I can't do anything about it. Now, these red wires there are your power supply. They come directly from the power supply, and there's some there, and there's some up there, and all over it. Anyway, there's a board here, and what happened was, it wasn't really my fault to be honest, but what happened was, I was trying to play it with money, and I jammed the coin mechanism up, and to get it to work again, I had to take those out. Let me put you there, it's a bit glary there, isn't it? Those paddles out, which, and there's another little bit, which knocks dodgy ones out. So they fell both sides, but I wasn't worried about that. Anyway, I was playing it for a while, and when I counted them up, there was one or two in the machine, and I found, the light's in the way now, I found, you know, one or two down there that fell out the side. But what I didn't know, there were some that had bounced across, and they landed down there. Now I switched it on and it fired up as normal, and I played it, and it wasn't a problem. But then I switched it on and it didn't fully fire up, it just partially came on. And when I looked, two of the 50 pences, that's when I found two of the 50 pences were down there. So I looked at this board, had a careful look at this board with, if I can pick it up, there is a power supply there, look, and there's one that goes on that side, there. And I looked very, very carefully at this, and I asked someone else, and I checked those transistors out, but on the back, just on the back, they weren't short-circuited, you know, they weren't shorted out. So I think we're all right there. But then I noticed, and I cannot show you it on here, but looking very, very carefully at that board, just there, where's my thumb gone, there, looking very carefully at that board, I think you might even be able to see it on this camera, there looks to be two burn marks, right, in the circuit board. And that, of course, that burn mark is on the end of that little chip there. Where's the board gone? Again, sorry. Next to those transistors at the front, there's a chip there. And I think what's happened is that one of those 50 pences has just very briefly touched the back of this circuit board and done that chip. That's what I think's happened. Because now, when you switch it on, which I can do by plugging this in, oh yeah, come on. As I say, everything is being a bit difficult at the moment, somehow, but there we are. It don't go bang, you see, and I can plug that other lead in and it doesn't do anything. But what happens is, let me take this light out so we can shut the lid again, and I'll show you what happens. Now, that board appears to be fully functional. And that board up there appears to be fully functional. Let me just drop that back inside again, out the way. There we are. So, when I shut it, you'll see what actually happens now is that it initialises. If I shut that, it goes off and it should come on again. It initialises and it says King's Ransom, and that light comes on and that light comes on, but that's all it does. So what do? You know, I've had it for 9 months and I've definitely had my money's worth out of it, so you know, I think it needs a new home. So if anybody wants it, spares a repair for little money, you know, they can come and fetch it. I think that's the best thing to do with it. Anyway, moving on. My Lister, you can't make it up. I got it going the other day, as you saw, but then I tried again the next day, it wouldn't go at all, and I checked, and there's more or less no spark. So it looks like the mags, it had a beautiful spark, didn't it? And I don't know whether in all that hot month of May that it dried the shed out and made it humid inside and it's made the coil damp, I don't know. Anyway, just to see, today I've been out and I bought a 12 volt coil and a lead for it to go up to the plug. I had to get a full set, that doesn't matter, right? So I've got those, and I've also, to save me breaking me back carrying car batteries about, I've bought a small motorbike battery. So I've got that. So that's upcoming, but you've seen enough Listers videos for the minute. Anyway, oh, I need 2 hands, don't I? Don't know how to show you this. Anyway, I'll tell you first. Now, this is what's known, I think, as a dyna motor, right? It's an early inverter, and I've had it a long time. And if you look on there, very carefully, I'm not sure, it's a bit glary, I'm not sure if that makes it better to see, it probably does. But it says type RC20, I can see it without my glasses, input 24 volt, 1.6 amps, and output is 230 volts, or RPM 3000, then it says output is 230 volts, 80 milliamps. Well, where did I get it from? Well, on the farm where I grew up on was an old radar camp, and it was dismantled and took away, and on one of the outbuildings there was a cabinet, and inside this cabinet they'd left this cabinet, and that was inside this cabinet, and as far as I remember I'm thinking nearly 60 years ago, it was part of a fire detection auxiliary supply for a fire detection system. So all I did was run it on 12 volts, and this cap comes off, there's a fan in there, I took the fan off and put a pulley on, and I ran it as a motor for me Meccano set, and that's all I've ever done with it until today, right? That's all I've done. Anyway, just to see if it worked, we put it on. There we are. I think if I put that on the floor like that, hopefully you can see it. I'll just wide it up roughly as you can see, and I'll put it on 24 volts, and it'll have an output, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It will. We've got to somehow set this camera so back far enough so I'm not going to be in the way, and you can see it's charging. That's what I'm attempting to do. Whether I can or not, I don't know. Right. I think you'll be able to see it, but I want you to be far enough back to be able to see that it's charging and get the motor sound. It runs nicely. It's a good little motor. Right. So these wires are the thing. So what I've got to do is, now why that now doesn't work? Blind battery. This one. Oh, it does. No, it doesn't. Hang on. We're getting there. I'm trying not to stand in your way, you see. There we are. That goes there. That's it. Right, and I've wired it up to 24 volts with 2 batteries. So if I hold that in there, you see, I would say that apart from me running this round on 12 volts, that this is like brand new. Even though it was probably made in the 50s, I don't know. Oh, look at that, runs lovely. And it's charging. Well, mains is 240 volts, but unloaded 249 volts. I don't reckon that's bad for something that's was probably last used in mid-60s, probably early 60s was the last time I ever used that. How about that? So I don't know if you managed to see that or not, but if not, you could probably see it was charging. I don't know. But anyway, how about that? So it's not a total failure, is it? You know, no, it's not a total failure, but it's certainly not a roaring success. And I've got something else that I was going to get tomorrow that the current situation I seem to be again foiled by, because you can't go to a shop and buy something. I'm kneeling down, as you can see now, and I'm really struggling to get up. I mean, I've got to, hang on, I'm not sure I can even get up without putting the toe up on it. Oh dear, I'm not making that up, right? I struggle to get up. Now, there is, I've seen advertised on Facebook recently, like a stool and a seat, which is a little thing, right, with about that high, about 2 foot high, about 1 foot wide, and it's got a low piece there with a pad on it. So you've got 2 handles and you can kneel on it, and then you turn it over and you can sit on it. Well, that's just what I want. And I can buy one, I can buy 10 if I want, but I thought, well, it would be quite cool to make a nice one. I've got a little bit of padding upstairs I can use, you know, and a bit of plywood. And I thought, I'll go and get some copper pipe and some elbows, and we'll polish it up and make a nice one. You know, just it's a project that I could do. Anyway, sorry to say, I can't do it. Why can't I do it? Have a guess. Have a guess. Have a guess. Because the shops won't sell me it. It's that simple. We've got a few shops, right? B&Q, which you probably know, or what, you know, whatever. There's those shops. I have to order it online and then go and stand in a queue that takes about an hour and a half to get to the door. Well, you know, that's not me, is it? The same at Wickes, another shop, and I think it's the same at Jackson's. You've got to make an appointment and wait 2.5 hours, you know. I've got the blooming money, right, to buy it, but I can't go to the shop and buy it. So that's another project on hold. Sorry if I seem a bit moaning and that, but no, I just seem to be up against a brick wall in every turn. However, I'm going to leave you with this, because there is one little bit of very, very good news, and for me, quite exciting news, right? For me, it's actually quite exciting news. But that's a video for tomorrow, all being well. So we'll leave you with that. Good night.